Everybody, Lieutenant Joe here for the Blue Heart Podcast. So, in a couple of my books, the investigation is over here and the interview is over here. In the book, The Interview, I cover a lot of specific techniques. We have a couple of episodes already on what's out there about the things that I cover. But I wanted to talk about one specific technique that has come up over the years. It's in the book. It's been used by lots of different officers, which is really satisfying. One guy called me up and he says, "Hey, I bought your book. I took your class and I was doing an investigation on a attempted homicide of gang members. And I used your technique and he actually gave me information." So here's the technique. It's called Two Kind of Guys, right? Two Kind of Guys. That's what we call it. It's a chapter in the book. And basically, here's how it works. You're interviewing somebody, you're talking to them, and they're having a hard time telling you something. Either they're being belligerent or they're just scared to death and they're afraid as soon as they admit something, they're going to have a problem, which we know they get charges and they could end up in prison or whatever. So I was working a case and a fella had stolen a bunch of purses off of elderly women. He would run up on them, hit them, grab the purse and take off. Now, the older women, it was hard for him to break that cycle because they were easy victims. They didn't fight back. They might hang on to the purse for a second, but he could rip it out of their hands. And he did probably 8 or 9 of these in our town. And some of the women were injured. They were older. Some of them fell down, hurt themselves. Others were fine. But when we finally found this guy and brought him in, I had to interview him. And he was going round and round about, not him, it's not him, it's not him. And this came up in my conversation. I'm looking at him saying, how do I break this guy? How do I get him to move towards me and start to give me some information? Isn't that what we all want? So I looked at him and I said, it seems to me that in this world, there's really only 2 kinds of guys. Now, I had his attention now, because I wasn't accusing him anymore. I'm just giving him some information. He knew he was in trouble, but like I said, he just couldn't give it up. And he's looking at me and I said, there's 2 kind of guys in this world. This kind of guy, this guy over here, this guy doesn't care about them old women. This guy just wanted their money, didn't care if they got hurt, didn't care if they busted their head on the concrete. He could care less. He's out for himself. He sees these are easy victims. And he ran up on them and he hurt them. Right now, as I'm saying this, I'm putting my hand up in the air specifically because I'm going to make a view of 2 different kinds of people. Right, so one is up here. It's a physical distance. Here it is. This guy's bad guy. I said, and the other kind of guy, this guy over here. This kind of guy didn't mean to hurt anybody. This guy just needed money, needed food, needed rent money, whatever. And he figured, you know what? These older women, they usually have money in their purse. They have family that will help them. They probably have savings, all that kind of stuff. This guy never meant to hurt anybody. He just did what he had to do. What kind of guy are you? And I'm telling you, that sounds very simple, but it plays to human nature. And I'm telling you, he sat there and he went like this. And he looked at this hand up here, the bad guy hand. And then he looked down there at the not such a bad guy, did something for, easier reasons. And he looked at me. He says, I'm that kind of guy. I never meant to hurt anybody. The old ladies, are they okay? Are they all right? And I told him, yeah, of course, everybody's all right. One lady hurt her hip a little bit, but you didn't mean to hurt them, did you? No, man, I didn't mean to hurt them. Like you said, I needed money and I know where to get it. And I figured that's the easiest way. And they got extra money, these older people. And that was his conversation with me. And then, of course, he went on to tell me how many jobs he did, where he did them. And then I asked him, I said, well, where are the purses? You took all these old ladies' purses. Where's their purses? They got pictures in there, things that they want. And he looks down You could see him defeated. He goes, "Oh, they're in the woods next to my house. I took the money and I just threw all the purses in the woods." I said, "You have a pile of purses in the woods next to your house?" He goes, "Yeah, I do." So would you take me over there to get them? He goes, "Yeah, I'll take you over there." And we did. We took him in a police car, went over there. He pointed out. I went in. I found all the purses. They were wet out in the rain for a couple of days and all that stuff. But at least we found some of the things that the victims would want. So the whole idea is that two kind of guys. You really want to make a drastic comparison between a bad guy and a not such a bad guy, right? Because one of the things we talk about in the interview is that we need to diminish the words we use, right? We don't say robbed, we say took. We don't say raped, we say had sex with, right? So we want to diminish the words we use. So if I'm making somebody sound really bad and he has an ID, knows he did it, it's just a matter of time. Are we going to have forensics, a witness, or is he going to break? And then I compare that to a guy that's not so bad, something societally acceptable, just needed money, didn't mean to hurt people. That's going to sound in his mind like a better option when he gets in front of a jury or a judge or whatever. I didn't mean to hurt nobody. It was a mistake. It was wrong, right? So, two kind of guys. What kind of guy are you? All right. So I want to thank our sponsors, Riot Tint. They make the safety film for windows, keeps people from busting into organizations, schools, and hurting people. My publisher, Blue 360 Media, and watch for a whole new sections of stuff coming out with them very soon. We're going to be doing school safety, video training. It's going to be a real media company. We're going to be covering lots of different topics. And Medical Essential Diagnostics, medicalessentialdiagnostics.com. They are located in New Jersey right now. You go to them and you and two family members, 18 years and older, can get a full health screening in a couple of hours. There's the 6 locations now, right? Stay alive. Go see them. Doesn't cost you anything. Put your insurance down. Anything over what the cost is of your insurance that covers, they pay for it. So I want to thank them all for bringing this here. And I'm telling you, try the technique. If you're down, you're trying to think of something, get the book, right? Smart Moves, get the book from Amazon or Blue 360 Media. And what kind of guy are you? This is Lieutenant Joe for the Blue Heart Podcast. We'll see you. And remember, tell your friends, like it, subscribe. Let's keep this going, right? We're going to have a lot more stuff coming up in future episodes. Have a great day, everybody. Be safe out there.